before we get started, guys, do me a quick favor and go to accounts.pubg.com. You can support the channel by free by using my creator code Feyd101. It takes a couple minutes to do, and basically any purchases that you make on PUBG, we get a little kickback for. It takes 2 seconds. Accounts.pubg.com. Go check it out. And for those of you who have already done it, thanks so much. To start off, guys, we're going to take a look at my custom Battle Beaver controller. A couple of small things that I had Battle Beaver do to the controller when I ordered it and make playing PUBG quite a bit easier. First off, the thumbsticks themselves, they're increased tension. We also have smart triggers and smart bumpers, which are basically like little mouse clicks. And we have the 6 programmable buttons on the back instead of paddles. Makes it a bit easier to, hit those buttons on the back while you're gripping the controller or however you like. All right, guys. So in the past year, we've managed to get roughly about another 500 solo wins and another 1,000 total wins roughly. So it's been a pretty good year using these settings that I'm using, and I'm going to show them to you right now. So let's get right into it. So starting off, I use a custom button preset. Obviously, X and Y axis, both inverted or disabled. My dead zone is still the same. Still at 16, haven't had to change it. Depending on the controller you're using, you might, be a bit lower, a bit higher. I feel like I still need to do a whole new video just on dead zone to explain it a bit better for, people that have a lot of questions about it, but that is in the future. Vibration disabled, that's kind of straightforward. Forward running sensitivity 12, movement sensitivity is at 100. Vertical sensitivity multiplier 110. This just kind of helps a bit with recoil. I find having a higher vertical sense. General sense is at 16. I've bumped this up a bit. I might actually go a bit higher, just kind of bump it up one at a time here and there. A lot of people play at 20. I prefer a bit lower, 16. Vehicle driver sensitivity at 8. Pretty straightforward. Aim acceleration disabled. It's always been disabled, just the way I play. Over the shoulder at 5. I don't really use over the shoulder a lot, so, and you really shouldn't, in my opinion, use this too much, but nonetheless, it's at a 5. Inventory cursor sensitivity at a 10, and the scopes. So the scopes have changed a bit. My 1x, ever since I started playing first person, I've noticed I have to change these up a bit. I'm still kind of playing with them, but this seems like I'm going to stick with these settings for a bit because they're kind of working for me. So we got a 13.5 on the 1x, which is like red dot, iron sight, that kind of. 2 I don't really use, but it's at a 10. 3 and 4 I use quite a bit. These are probably the 2 most common scopes, I think. Especially since I started using the 3 as a spray scope. It's at a 10.5, 10.5 for the 4, 6 and 8 at a, 6 and 8 at a 10, and the 15, which, is still way too slow, is at a 20. That's pretty much all of the scope sensitivities. In terms of the gameplay stuff, my settings here are pretty standard. The only thing that I use that's different is the colorblind mode, which is the deuteranopia, the second one, and then it changes the colors a bit around. That, I kind of prefer it like this. Crosshair color is custom. Basically, I crank the white up all the way so that it's, it's a solid white crosshair. Everything else is pretty much standard. Reticles, I tend to mess around with these, but I haven't actually changed it lately. I mean, if you want to check it out, this is the settings right here. You just kind of pause the video and go through them here. Everything else is kind of standard. I haven't really touched any of them. I haven't even set my auto firing modes and that stuff when you pick up guns, which I probably should, but I haven't. But anyhow, so that's the gameplay stuff. Audio stuff, pretty standard. Nothing to see there. Graphics, pretty standard. I played a 96 FOV, field of view. Brightness at 100. And obviously, graphics mode is frame rate priority. And you should be playing on this. You do not want to be playing in resolution, no matter what you're playing on. Always put it on frame rate. And that is pretty much it for that. Controller settings, actual controls themselves. I've deleted a couple things here and there. Like I said, I do play on a custom preset. You can see these are all my bindings here. Aim bindings. Most of the stuff is pretty standard. Vehicle bindings, pretty standard. Standard. The only thing in the combination that I have is the LB and down to go to the driver's seat. So when you're doing drive-bys, instead of cycling through all the seats, you just hit LB and down, and instantly you go to the driver's seat. That's pretty much it. Those are my settings, and yeah, let me know what you guys think.